better get right, I'm champion. I'm a team. If you talking and talk to me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to YSN Live on this Monday, the final day of March 2025. Oof. Oof, dude.
Oof.
It's going fast. It's going fast. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. I'm not looking, because you know why? You know what tomorrow is?
For April Fool's Day?
April Fool's Day, man. And all these jokesters out there, they get me good. There's always going to be someone who cracks jokes about, oh, the game's canceled, and it's not canceled.
Don't do that to us.
They've done that before. It does not go well here on this show. And then, you know, there's always like the social media aspect of it that you don't know. It's bad enough out there, folks. You don't know what to believe. And now there's going to be this April Fool's Day added to it. And there's going to be some truth out there that somebody's going to be like, there's no way that's real. And it's going to be real, and vice versa.
You're just putting out on the wrong day.
Not a fan, Anthony. In my younger days, loved it because I was the jokester. Now, no jokes. I don't like it. I don't like being the April Fool. We use different terminology in sports, typically, not fool.
Oh, man.
So we're going to live this day to the fullest here on the 31st of March. And then obviously we're going to skip tomorrow. And then we're going to focus on April 2nd, which is one of the biggest days in company history. And one of the biggest days in company history as we unveil the new generation of how to get stuff done in the quote unquote recruitment world. And we're going to unveil YSN Prospect on Wednesday about this time, soft launch, and then we'll talk about it and bring some people in. And we're also going to start taking orders for people in the platform of YSN Prospect. So excited, big week ahead. And you know what's not helping, Mr. Hartwig? The rain. You though hustled out for 3 games. Did I hear that right?
No, I think Gary misled you. I'm scheduled for 3 games this Saturday. Not the last Saturday.
I got cranked
but
up.
I will be out there
wow.
for 3 games in Champion on Saturday.
Okay, I saw that. I thought you were going back-to-back weekends. I was thinking to myself, man, it's the right place for you because you're championing YSN. You're putting us on your back, and you are just rolling us through the early part of this spring. Yeah. So
we're getting through.
Where were you at this weekend?
This weekend, Friday, I went to Middle Ridge. They still played, but the rain and moving into the football field kind of X'd a broadcast, unfortunately. But I did stay and took in the game, did the post-game interviews on the football field, which was really cool because I almost never get the chance to be on the field. Right. So I got to be on the field and do some post-game interviews with Middle Ridge, who came back with a 8-run 6th inning to win 11-8 over Salem. So that was a fun night. It was a late night because they started late because they moved their warm-ups to the field and they still had a half-an-hour warm-up. So we started at like 6 o'clock under the stadium lights, which was pretty fun. Cool. Saturday I was off, and then here we are back on Monday.
Yeah, I am the kiss of death for games right now. Any game that I get assigned to gets canceled. So there's nobody that wants old DJ Yoakley announcing their games right now this spring. And I'm pretty sure.
Cancel.
Yeah. Bye. My wife thinks that I'm just chasing games that are going to get canceled, and that's couldn't be further from the truth. I actually want to get out of the house. When I'm in the house, I'm dad, and it doesn't go so great a lot of times because they want mom. So I want to get out there and do some games, but unfortunately, Mother Nature has not cooperated, and it looks like it's going to be the same.
This week doesn't look great.
No, this is why when Easter's like this time of year, it's great because we're down in Myrtle and we're playing games. And this year, we're backed up to the 20th-ish of April. So we still got 21 days, 3 weeks to worry about. Goodness gracious. But we do have a great show for you, Anthony. Who do we have on the show today?
Well, first we have a live guest coming on, and we're going to introduce her now. Youngstown softball fans should be pretty familiar with this next name. She had an incredible career as a Penguin at YSU, and now going into her third year as the head coach of the Conneaut Spartans, it is Lexi Zappatelli-Adams.
Oh, we should probably let her in, huh?
Yeah,
there we go. Okay, there we go. Now she's in. Coach,
thank you.
how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
No, it's awesome to have you. Obviously, Anthony rolling out the red carpet for you, the YSU red carpet for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your third year as head coach. You said you've been with an assistant for another 2, so 5 years with the program. 2025's here. We were talking about, does it ever get old for you? And you said there's always things changing. What do you see this year in 2025 that's changing for your program?
So for our program, we only have 3 seniors. And these 3 seniors were actually our only juniors last year. So they play a really good leadership role. But with our program, what we're looking for, we're honestly looking to start to rebuild, and those 3 seniors are being able to help in that at time. Conneaut just started a middle school club team. So that means our middle school girls are going to be able to play throughout the school year more, which ultimately that's only going to help our high school program. So we've been able to run a lot of clinics for offense and defense. We've even done some pitching clinics. And those 3 seniors have really done a really great job at, helping get those younger girls excited. But I guess almost kind of leaving a legacy I like to talk to them about. This is their last year. There's so many emotions going on with them. They have so many other things going on because graduation is almost a month away. In May, they will graduate. So, and again, like you guys were saying, tomorrow is April 1st. So May is going to be here before any of us know it. So really just those 3 seniors have been doing a great job really trying to help these younger girls get some more skill, enjoy the game more, have some more fun. That way, when they get to the high school level, we're going to be able to compete a little bit more than maybe we did last year, or maybe we might be able to with some teams this year even too.
Coach, now that you're in year 3, it's kind of the year where you can really see the culture that you want into the program start to take hold, and the standard that you want for the program start to really solidify. Talk about that and how much work you've put in the last 3 years to kind of build the culture, and how much you're seeing it this year really stick in this program.
Absolutely. So I know it might sound super cliche, but like the word family is truly so important. I know when I played high school softball at Conneaut, our team felt like a family. We even said that with, our teammates. I think just everybody being able to trust each other on the field during practice. They may not be their best friend outside of softball, but when we're practicing on the field, learning how to be a teammate, and be a close-knit family, that's just going to help them enjoy the game more. And that's even going to help improve how they play on the field during games. A lot of people don't realize it, but since it is a team sport, chemistry is extremely important. If you're not super comfortable, playing next to somebody in the outfield and the infield, it's going to show. So really just doing a lot of things to get the girls comfortable, even if we are not the best team skill-wise, give us that effort. The coaching staff, we've talked to our girls, because some of them play softball as something to do, which is fine. But, we're here trying to build a program. So we tell them, hey, we respect you guys. Some of you guys don't play all year round. You're just doing this as a hobby, something to do, throughout school, which is fine. But, we have to kind of give them our respect about that, because we want them to also respect us we still have expectations though, and we're going to try to make you guys get better. But we're going to try to do it in a fun way too.
Chemistry is important. Obviously, you just alluded to that, but creativity this time of year is incredibly important, because you're dodging raindrops like we talked about earlier. What do you do on days off that we're scheduled to be playing games to keep them not wanting to come back, but kind of keeping their minds into it and not bored at practice?
So that's a really great question, considering today was supposed to be our first game of the season. We were supposed to host Lakeside over in Ashtabula, That game is postponed until Thursday, maybe. We'll see.
Coach, I swear I wasn't on that game. It didn't get canceled.
No,
because of
yeah,
me.
no. No, it's just been raining nonstop up here, out of our control. So that's a really good question because and even at this point in the season, we haven't even started games yet, but it's just practice. You have to switch up that tempo because, with any team, they'll get bored. But with our team, especially having some girls who don't necessarily play softball all year round, they're going to get even more bored. So some of the other coaches and we sometimes we'll use our pitching machine. We'll hook it up into the gym as that's the pitcher. And we kind of play like a live game with our lifelike balls. So that's one thing we do. I don't really know if it's for the tennis team, but one of the other sports programs in our storage room, they have like a tennis ball launcher. So we've done some fun drills, pull out that tennis ball launcher, helps our infield react, it's just a fun drill we do. And then even we twist it up and then it gives fly balls to the outfield. They really seemed to enjoy that. We as coaches didn't really know if it would work, but we're like, you know what? Let's just try that. So today we're probably going to have to pull out, our pitching machine, the tennis ball machine, just keeps these girls engaged because our April calendar is jam-packed. So they can't be bored just yet.
Yeah, and to expand on that question, Coach, when you have so many postponements, you're going to be, weeks where you're going to be playing 5-6 games in the span of 6 days. On the opposite side, how do you stay away from a little bit of overuse or maybe, girls getting fatigued or just too much softball in too little time? How do you navigate that too during a season?
Yeah, and that's something it's really hard to do because if I'm looking at our April schedule right now, there's the week of the 21st. We have four games in a row, back to back. But then we do have some JV games. So really that day there's schedule. It's all the way through. So we have one senior who's a pitcher. We relied on her pretty heavily last year. We've had a conversation this year with her, some of the other pitchers. We have a junior who's a pitcher. She doesn't have a ton of varsity pitching experience. Same with another sophomore, but we said to them, hey guys, you are going to have to get some experience this year based on how our schedule is. Our senior pitcher, her name is Lexi. She already has some shoulder problems. So taking that in consideration, we can't throw her every game back to back. So it's just kind of being upfront with these girls and letting them know our expectations for them because just the way our schedule is, Lexi's not going to be able to pitch every single game. So they really have to kind of just step up. They're expected of what, they're going to need to do. They're going to start some games, come in some games. But it's just really important to let them know that we trust them and they need to be confident while doing it, especially those who don't have a ton of varsity pitching experience. Our conference is pretty tough, so it's so easy for some of them to possibly get down on them, but we're just trying to be as positive as we can before we get into it because I know it's going to be a season that just keeps rolling, very busy.
There are incredible challenges during the season. I think one of the biggest things when you're a competitor such as yourself who played the game, who knows the game, who just has a great understanding is trying to translate, right? Not dumb it down necessarily, but translate that knowledge from you to your players. What kind of, games have you had to play with yourself and do those mental gymnastics in order to have them download the info that you're trying to give them?
So if this is answering your question, I'm a very hands-on person.
Okay.
So personally for me, this was me as a player, for me to really understand how this drill works or how I'm going to do that. It always helped me being able to see it. So now, and this is something I'm still, getting used to being on the total opposite side. Now the coach's role and not the player. So this is something I'm still, learning all the time. But I've noticed I'm still kind of continuing that. So I know how I learn, hands-on, visual. So a lot of times I just kind of hop right in there and, show them exactly what I'm looking for, how it should look. But also I like to show them how some things should not look. Because it's with softball and, a lot of other sports, it's really important that the players can recognize the things that their body, like within mechanics or whatever they're doing for the drill, what they're doing right. But then there's going to be times where it's not going to go right. It's a game of failure. So it's important for me to show them what things should not look like or not feel like. That way during a game, they can kind of self-correct, because I'm not going to be able to have a mic in their ear every single at bat, every pitch, whatever it is, say, no, you have to do this. The game is not the time for that. So just being hands-on and really visual in practice, just kind of showing them, I think definitely helps.
I'm sure there are times you wish you could have a mic in their ear, though.
They might not, but yeah, no.
Coach, anyone that watched you at YSU knows how aggressive you were on the base pass. How aggressive are you as a coach running? Do you like to send people?
So there's times, because everybody's different. Not everybody may have the same speed that I had. And these girls are younger. Some of them aren't there yet with the IQ. So I have to kind of change my mindset. And it's hard because I am such a competitive person. Like, my drive is full go. So there's times where I'm like, oh yeah, she hit the ball, she's coming to me at third base. But then I'm like holding up my arms like, okay, all right, stay there at second base. All is good. But I think base running is extremely important. With this team that we have this year, we've definitely practiced base running a lot, just because we may not have the best offense. But if we get runners on base, we need to try to be a threat within that area and be aggressive, because all it takes is one big hit to change a score. You know what I mean? Make the ball game more competitive. So that's what I say to our girls a lot of the times. We're working on all those little things, because that's what really will make the difference. So base running is definitely important. And I want to try to get them to have the same mindset that I had as a player.
Who are the coaches that you can recall immediately that stand out in your head? I mean, when we become parents, we all hear our parents come out of us. Who are some of those coaches that you see so much of in your coaching expertise?
Oh, that's a fun question. When I was younger, my dad would coach me a lot. So sometimes the older I get, I'm like, oh, I'm sounding like my father. That's, when it comes to, I guess he coached me throughout like Little League when I was like 10 years old, before travel ball got super heavy. So there's times where I'm like, oh, I see that coming out of me. But also when I'm watching, sporting events, I'm yelling at the TV. I'm like, oh, yikes, there's my father coming out of me. So from college, Coach Campbell, he's actually still coaching at YSU. Him and Coach Z, she was there at YSU when I was playing. She's no longer at YSU. I definitely think the two of them, they just left such a really good impact on me from my time playing at YSU to I kind of look at some of the things that both of them did. Coach Campbell gave me, many steal signs on like the base pass. So with the base running and that aspect, I definitely can kind of use a little bit of what he had done there. He's had a very successful career. I don't even know what he's up to now. I think he's over 600 plus wins at YSU. So it's super awesome to still seeing him do it. And with Coach Z, Sarah Zillis was her name. I feel like all of my hitting knowledge came from her. Growing up, I was a natural good hitter. So a lot of the times, like, nobody wanted to touch my swings. Like in high school, you know what I mean? If it's not broke, don't fix it, which, yes, it's true. So like in high school, even travel ball, like I just naturally could do it. But my mechanics were not as good as until I got to college and was able to work with her. So since she actually really broke down the swing with me, with everybody, every single one of us on our team, that gave me a lot more knowledge, which then it made it super easy for me to be able to teach a girl how to hit a ball. Like, what do we do? This first step, second step, and so on. So definitely that.
Coach, I don't want to let you go without letting you talk about your staff and the people within the administration and community that really help you build this program and have really been by your side for the last 3 years as head coach to make Conneaut softball what you want it to be.
Yeah. So you want me to talk about like my coaching staff, all those people?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a couple assistants. Brianna Oatman is one of my assistants. She coaches first base. She's actually one of my good friends. We played together in high school, so it's really nice to have her alongside by me, helping me coach. Another assistant, his name is Joe Chadwick. He actually was an assistant coach. This is my 10th year since being out of high school. So 10 years ago, he was coaching me. I think he was even coaching a couple years before. So he's been sticking with the program for many years now. So he has a lot of experience with it. So it's really nice being able to have his knowledge and expertise to help me as well. We also have some volunteer coaches. We have Greg Brown and Tony Tadero who are also helping me out this year. Both of them help with, they come at practice. It's so good to be able to have 5 different coaches, especially when we do different stations. You're working with infield, I'll go with outfield, you go with pitchers. So it helps really create an environment where there's not a lot of standing around because we have the help with coaches. And those 2 volunteer assistants, they help with are keeping score, doing the game changer online. They're really good with the technology where I am not. So that's really, really great to have them help me. Our athletic director is Tony Paffinen. He's taking over this year. It's his first year from Joel Taylor, who has done an excellent job and really has helped me, my first couple years doing this. Tony Passanin's doing a great job coming in. He's a lot of help. He was actually my basketball coach in high school. So it's nice having a familiar face there too. And Keith Sherman and all of our maintenance crew for our field, besides today, of course, there's just too much rain to, take care of that. But they actually do a really, really great job of keeping our field, ready to play as best as we can when it's not kind of like how it is today and all weekend. So a lot of great support behind me, and I'm really appreciative of them.
All right, last question for you. I mean, it's got to be cool. You mentioned, I think, 2 or 3 times now that you're an alum of Conneaut. How cool is it to be able to do it for the colors that you were raised up wearing?
It's super special. When I graduated from Conneaut, I didn't even know first that I wanted to be a teacher. My mom was always a teacher, so everybody's like, "Oh, you're going to be a teacher too." So I'm like, "No, I'm going to do something different." So I didn't really realize that right away. And I didn't realize I wanted to coach. So I never had pictured this. It just kind of fell into place at the right time. And it makes it even more special that this is where I'm able to do this and try to, rebuild a program and hopefully be super successful one day.
Well, we think you're successful already. We're super appreciative of everything all the time you were able to give us today. And, we're so excited to have you guys on YSN. So thank you so much again for the opportunity to speak with you today. Best of luck this year. Hopefully you can dodge some raindrops sometime this week and get some ball games in.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's been fun.
You got it, Coach. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Thank you.
You got it. There she goes. Lexi Zipatelli, one of the best names in the games.
Zap, especially when you're
Zap.
a speedster on the bases. When she was playing at YSU, she was always a base stealing threat. If your name is Zap in the title, that's just, headlines for days. Whoever was writing the stories, Jamie Hall out there writing stories for YSU softball, he had an easy time when Lexi had a good day.
Well, and she certainly made a career for herself. And I think what the exciting thing is, Ant, is, she is very much deflective of any of the shine. So she wants to make sure that her players get it, her coaches get it, her community gets it. And that, to me, are the very foundational blocks of what makes up a good coach. So when she's talking about when, hopefully, I'm successful, I'm not kidding. I think she's already successful in that. And I think this is only the beginning.
Right. And that's the kind of coach you want. We've had a lot of opportunities to talk to a lot of awesome coaches, whether it be in the fall, in the winter, or in the spring. And the best ones are the ones that we hear almost never talk about themselves or their career wins or the way that they have what they've been to the program. They're always talking about the people behind them that have been to the program, their family, the people that have shaped them when they were younger, that kind of thing. And those are the coaches that you kind of see build a very substantial program that lasts for a while.
Well, you know what they say in Pittsburgh. I don't know if they really say this, but it makes sense because it's very Yinzer-ish. Is look at for Caniat. Look out for Caniat. I think she's going to do a heck of a job. I hope they get some games in this week because, as we talk about all the time, as we kind of segue into our next interview with Cardinal Mooney senior catcher, Trent Littman, is the only way to get experience is to get experience. And you can't rush it. You can't buy it. It's you've got to be able to get on the field and do it. And, when we interviewed Trent Littman, I want to say it was a week and a half ago ish.
Yeah.
One of the stories that we didn't really understand was he jumped into the catching position because it was the fastest track to get to the varsity and help out his team.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of great stories and great lessons that can be taught if you keep that mindset, not just in sports, but in life and in business and, whatever you're going to do in your career. If you're able to jump in and learn on the fly, so to speak, the sky's the limit.
I mean, no matter what level of baseball or softball you're talking about, whether you're playing in college or you're playing in high school, the ability to jump into a team's need is going to be something that's going to be ultra valuable. So if you go to a coach and say, hey, I might be like the best at this spot, but if you need me here, I can go here and we're not going to lose. I'm not going to be a liability here, here, or here. If you can go to a coach and say that, you become even more valuable to them than you were before. If you're just a one-trick pony and you say I can only play shortstop and I can't play anywhere else, unless that team really needs a shortstop, you're going to be in a lot of tough luck. A lot of tough luck.
And I think it's more prevalent at the next level, right?
Yeah.
High school, you can usually see what's up the pipeline or what's coming up the pipeline behind you, and you can kind of adjust. And believe me, parents do that. They'll sit there and they'll go, well, this kid's really good and he's probably better than you, so he's going to play over you. So they'll move the position to be the best fit. But in college, you can't do that. College coaches recruit what they recruit, and you don't have a shoelace to tie. It's very challenging. But if you have that mentality of, listen, I can only catch or I can only, like you said, play shortstop.
You better be a dang good shortstop. You better be a dang good shortstop.
Your time's going to be shorter. I'm going to tell you that because, if you can find yourself in the lineup every single day if you're, multifaceted, and that you're seeing it now at the major league level with guys that can DH, play first base, play third base, right field, left field. Pitchers, for the most part, Shohei Ohtani aside, are the only ones that can be, one-trick ponies. So I'm excited. I know this is a great interview with Trent Littman. We apologize for not getting it out sooner, but, listen, we're going to talk about the week that was last week and how crazy it was. But it was a great interview with Trent Littman about a week and a half ago, again, in the car. So I apologize for the poor acoustics in the Toyota Tundra. That's the only drawback, I think. And we're going to figure that out by the end of the lease. I'm excited to bring this one to you, and we'll see you in a little bit. Here is the interview with the senior catcher for Cardinal Mooney, the fireman, Trent Littman. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. YSN Live on location again. And we have the Cardinal Mooney Cardinals with us today, a player profile, one guy that I adore. Now, naturally, that's going to be because he's a catcher. But as good as he is behind the dish, this kid can stick it. We call him the fireman here on YSN because he swings a hot bat all season long. Anthony Hartwig, please welcome Mr. Trent Littman.
What's up?
Trent, T-Money, what's up, buddy?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hear all the hitting going on in the background. When we were interviewing Coach, I just figured that was you in the cage, just hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, that's on me.
You're a stud, man. Talk to me about the off season, how it went for you, how you got better.
Off season this year, a guy that I worked a lot with, I used to go here, Ian Francis. He's always helped me with catching. Still pretty new to it. And that dude has really helped me more than a lot of my coaches. And then I've been a guy I've really worked with a lot is Will Petty. Anytime I wanted to work, I could ask him. He'd always want to work. Just good to be at a school where I can have kids like that always want to work if I can text anybody.
Trent, we know to succeed in baseball, you got to have a confident mindset. You have to have that mentality that you're going to get a hit every time. Talk about kind of what gives you that and how you're able to keep that mindset consistently throughout the season.
Mindset, when I go up to bat, no matter what I did before, no matter what the situation is, I'm the best contact hitter in the planet. I'm batting 700. I don't have much to worry about because when I do worry, I get in my head. If it's close game, bottom seventh, if it's a walk-off opportunity, I just think I'm not going to be the guy that strikes out. I'm not going to be the guy that ends the game, and works out for me usually. But yeah, that's what I think.
Hey Siri, appreciated that. You got a thumbs up right in the middle of that
Yeah.
whole thing. I'm proud. They're proud of you, man. Siri's proud of you. Everybody's cheering for you. We mentioned it's your senior season. Your whole year, obviously at Mooney. Like, why? Let me rephrase this. How has it gone, and has it been as fast as it feels?
It's been fast. I remember freshman year, they need a backup catcher for JV, and so they told me to. And now I've been starting varsity the last 2 years catching, and just crazy how much I've developed looking at pictures of me freshman year and just looking at my swing, looking at me throwing it. Truly doesn't feel like 4 years. I've just had so much fun here.
All right, senioritis is real. We all know that. What level of senioritis are you at right now?
Try not to sleep in class. I had 2 gym classes last semester and 3 study halls, so just trying to get through that. But I have a few friends that's making it easier to get through.
Your schedule's loaded this year, man. I mean, it seems like it always is, but Coach just went over the schedule with us. I mean, you're talking Hoban, you're talking West Branch. You got some teams on your schedule, dude, that is an absolute gauntlet. Are you looking forward to those, and are there particular games that you're looking forward to more than others?
I'm looking forward to those. Thinking about the schedule, I think we have such a young, talented team. I'm fully confident most of these guys are going to be playing after high school. So I think seeing that competition is just great for those young guys and teams I'm looking out to play. St. Ed's, that game was interesting last year, so I'm just trying to get some revenge for dignity reasons. Hoban, we split the series. I'm excited to play them again. And I've heard University's really good, and I'm excited to play them for the first time.
I mean, that's all great, but you got to be excited to play Ursuline, right? I mean, that's a rivalry. Talk about being a part of it for one last time and what that game's going to mean to those games, I should say, are going to mean to you to play the best rivalry in the area one more time.
Freshman year, I remember that Ursuline team being stacked. It seemed like no matter what we could do, we couldn't beat them. And then last year, we split the series with them, and this year I'm pretty confident we can beat them both times. I mean, we have such a young team, and we still have almost the whole lineup we had last year. So I'm very confident that game's going to be a really good game.
Trent, you mentioned you started as a backup on JV, and now you're sitting here, the varsity catcher, a guy that's made huge impacts on the program, signature wins, signature walk-offs. So I guess my question is, what motivated you? What still motivates you to this day to continue to get better and better and better?
One of the things that I love seeing is progression, like just seeing new pitchers I can catch. First pitcher I caught was my brother freshman year throwing 90. So just seeing me catching guys like Johnny Brenner, Will Petty, Ben Otis, and just seeing how much easier and more comfortable I'm getting back there. And then with arm throwing, batting, anything, I love seeing progression in myself.
One of the things I want to ask about is just what it's like to give the young guys some advice and give the young guys the motivation that you've just talked about having. What's it like to kind of take some of these young players under your wing and be able to build the building blocks of Mooney in the future?
It's fun to do. I feel kind of outnumbered because we have so many sophomores, so many juniors that have such good potential, and we don't have a lot of seniors. It's outnumbering, trying to hold them together, but I love doing it. It's fun. It's interesting. I love those guys. Fun to hang out with and hard workers that I can always work with and have fun with.
A question I always love asking catchers is, would you rather throw somebody out going to second to win the game, or drive one into the gap to win the ball game on offense?
Probably drive one in the gap. I love hitting, and just that adrenaline rush is awesome.
We're gonna change that by the end of the year, dude. You're gonna be
Yeah.
you're gonna be the guy just slinging it all over the yard.
Hopefully.
Now wait, I have a third option, Trent. What about the tag at home to end the game? Does that change things? If a guy's trying to come home to win, you tag him out, game over, you guys win by 1?
That seems pretty interesting just because that guy's coming trying to take the win from us. So that might be pretty sweet. Hopefully that happens.
You
When
want
you
another
talk
one, Ian?
about moments in baseball, expanded, right? There's a lot of moments in baseball. What's your favorite kind of moment? Is it hitting the home run? Is it making the good throw? Is it, maybe running the bases? What's your favorite kind of moment in the sport?
Probably have to go with the home run. I had one last year, and that was just crazy. Seeing my just being able to jog around, seeing my teammates cheer, seeing my parents cheer, and just honestly feel like the man getting to jog around and not run around the bases.
I guess that's a perfect segue into the next question. I mean, you talked about your brother throwing to you his senior year. You guys are a baseball family, and you've got a great family at that. Why is baseball so important in your household?
Really, I don't know. My parents asked me and my brother, why didn't we get into basketball? Why didn't we get to football? We gradually just went into baseball. So many friends around us into baseball. I've met so many great people with baseball, so I'm truly grateful that I'm able to do that. And truly grateful now I get to play college baseball. I don't go a day without thanking God that I get the opportunity to play college baseball. I'm so excited.
That's a perfect segue into asking about your future. And I don't want to take that moment away from you, so you can tell everyone that doesn't know where you're going, what the future holds the next 4 years on the baseball diamond, and then talk about like what went into that decision and why you chose that for your home.
I'm going to Garrett College to play baseball, going down the JUCO route. I had a few D3 offers, few D2, and just right now with the transfer portal, rosters changing, I think the JUCO route is a really good option for guys like me. And progression. I just really want to see how good I can get.
Trent, what's the ultimate goal? I mean, everybody's got, at this point, it has to be Major League Baseball. You want to be playing baseball professionally, but what are some of the other things that you're doing, the plan Bs, if you will, or 1As for your life and what you ultimately want to do when you get out of school?
Out of high school, I want to go to Garrett. I want to quickly get into the game, be a guy that can help my team. And then after that, I want to go to realistically, I want to try to get to a big D2 or small D1. Matters how good I do, but I'm really aiming towards that. Just matters how good I do during JUCO.
What are the education goals, the career path you want to see yourself in? Hopefully baseball doesn't end for a while, but eventually it will. What do you kind of want to do after baseball?
I'm majoring in business. I look up to my dad because he started a business, and one of the big things I love about that is I get to see him every day. He's not working a 9 to 5. He comes home, and I get to spend my whole day with him. So that's just something I want to do. I want to hopefully start a business and be able to see my family every day.
All right, my last question for you. You do so much. Catchers are always thinking. They're always trying to, number one, communicate. Number two, they're trying to, figure things out on the base paths. You get to see everybody, what everybody else is kind of turned away. For you, what is the most important part of catching? Why is it important that you're the catcher, you're the guy back there running the show?
Most important part is being focused on what's going around, seeing who's on third, who's on first, what they're doing. I'm looking at these guys on third and first, looking at these leads, and then I got to worry about a high 80s fastball spiked in the dirt I got to block. So just being able to focus on two things at once is a thing I've learned a lot through catching.
And my last question, just off the wall, just random, rapid fire type question, man. I want to know what your favorite superhero is. I got to know.
Favorite superhero, Spider-Man. Ever since I was a little kid, I love Spider-Man.
Nothing wrong with little Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with little double piece. Trent, obviously we're huge fans. Thank you so much for stopping by. Can't wait to do more of these interviews with you throughout the year after all your game winners, dude.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You got it. We got to get better at that transition. I don't know why it just doesn't pop us up. It drives me insane. But
yeah, it was doing that to me on Thursday and Friday too. It was doing a lot to me on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah,
that was one of the issues.
I heard you had quite the Thursday and Friday.
Woo! Oh man, it picked a heck of a time to have technical issues. I'll tell you that much.
It's
The
you start
universe works in
sweating
mysterious
like
ways.
it's not good. It's crazy. But hey, you held the fort down. We're still standing. We still
Just
won.
saying.
We
Yep.
still won.
We still
So,
won.
Hey, Trent Lipman, appreciate you for popping by to do that interview. What a great young man he is. Great leader. Obviously, looking at the business side of things, just focused on his dad. I love that. I love that he brought, because he was trying to keep it pretty buttoned up, right? We tried to make it funny. We tried to make it, but he was straight laced, forward thinker, just like he is usually. But to be able to sit there and be like, I want to be like my dad, because, I got to spend time with my dad because he owned a business. That's the cool stuff. That's the stuff that, you don't realize when you are a parent that your kids are watching you constantly as much as you're watching them. So, Trent, there's to you, buddy. We're looking forward to it. And hopefully you get a game in. They got a win over the weekend. They took an L over the weekend as well. I think they lost to Norway and beat Triway.
It's good that they got a game, and I know you were scheduled to do their game on Friday. Unfortunately, you were scheduled there because that was the kiss of death, apparently.
Well, and I think they've got a game tonight on Scene 1, if I'm not mistaken, that Don Pearson's doing. He's doing a doubleheader.
All games at Scene have been canceled.
Well, there it is. It ain't me anymore. I'm off the hook.
Sorry, sir. Park's closed.
What hasn't been canceled is the game I'm on right now.
Yeah, you're holding on. Now, Columbiana, they play a different Columbiana County. They'll play in the mud. They don't care.
I talked to Bryce earlier, and he's like, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good right now. He said a lot of rain yesterday, a lot of puddling, not much sun in the way today, but I just read their post. It sounds like they're going to give it a go. Probably a little bit different scenario if they're playing somebody like Conneaut or, that has to travel, but being that it's East Palestine, it's right down the road.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's play the game.
The other thing that Columbiana baseball and all the EOAC teams have to also consider, talking to Bryce Franken earlier in the season preview, we played his interview on Thursday. They have to get those OVAC games in by a certain time, or they won't qualify for the OVAC tournament. So they have to make sure that, hey, we gotta find a way to get these games in, or we're not going to qualify. So the West Virginia teams in the OVAC have a little bit of a head start on them. They started, I think, a week before Ohio baseball even could start. So they have a week under their belts before these, OVAC teams in Ohio even can really find their footing. So Columbiana, they got to get games in. That's just the reality.
I don't know how I feel about that. And
I know it's rough.
Because here's the thing, we're hustling everybody through football season. We're hustling, or I guess we should do the other way. We're taking our time through football season. We're taking our time through basketball season, and then we're rushing everything else. It's like, okay, I understand why. I think we all understand why. It's not a revenue generating sport for most schools. However, this is some kids' main sport. This is what they play year round. This is what they, more than any sport we have, this is what they're going to school to play, to continue their academics and athletics. And I think it's a shame. Let's put it that way. There was another word I was going to use.
You said it 8 times. Here we go.
Yep. It is a shame for the OHSA to do this, and they can sit there and point at it. Oh, it's not our fault. They want more games. They want games that aren't back to backs. I get it. I understand. But if you're going to do that, you can't make your birthday party when it is.
Right.
You're going to have to stretch it out. And will that, I hate to break it to people, there are other sports that are coming, and it is going to damage baseball and softball.
Oh.
Flag football for girls is going to be a varsity sport in very many, if not all, high schools coming up in the very short term. Softball should be warned. And there's a smugness. Smugness? Yeah. That's all right. Is that right? Smugness?
Yeah, smugness. That's a word.
There's I mean, the Jim Halpert, like when he's talking about the in the hotel, when they were looking for the beetle or whatever they were looking for, like I'm telling you, flag football is coming,
Just
and it is going to transfer over.
to prove this, Conneaut and Edgewood both have flag football teams. They played over the weekend. Edgewood won 30-20 against Conneaut. I'm sorry, Conneaut won 30-20 against Shaw in their first game of the year. So that's a varsity sport. I don't know if it's OHSA recognized yet. It might just be a club that's endorsed by the school, but they're those teams in Ashtabula County, at least Conneaut, Edgewood, like they have girls flag football teams.
I mean, hey, I'm not. This is not a projection. This is
real.
a promise.
It's real.
We've seen it. I mean, we've done national broadcasts of flag football. It is coming. And these girls have already played, or the ones that will be carrying the baton or the flag, so to speak, will be saying, hey, I'll play softball or I'll do track, but flag football is my first.
Right.
And the same thing, dude, there's 60, I think it's Canfield. There were 60 players for boys lacrosse that signed up.
Lacrosse is there. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like baseball and softball are being shoved into the closet.
Which is weird because when it comes to sending people to the next level, those are our two best sports, hands down.
And most people will not acknowledge that. We completely understand. Most people will not sit there and acknowledge that softball and baseball are the sports that send most people or most kids go to the next level to play.
Yeah.
They're going to say football. They're going to say basketball. It's just simply not the case.
Mm-mm.
It's simply not the case. And it's not even close. And that's the problem. And, you look at this and we see it coming down the pike, but nobody wants to acknowledge it. Nobody wants to believe it. And it's scary. It's frustrating because you see how the OHSA is handling this.
Mm-hmm.
Is, okay, we'll just pat this guy on the head and wait till the money-making opportunity comes along because you can play lacrosse on a football field. That's exactly where you want to play it.
Yep.
You can play flag football, obviously, on a football field. And guess what you can do when those people walk through those gates?
There's a gate. There's only one way to get into that football field.
You charge them.
You can't sneak in the back way behind the outfield of a football field.
No, and that's the frustrating thing. And coaches need to understand this and realize this. And I think there needs to be a fight back. There needs to be, someone that, if it has to be us, it'll be us. But I'm telling you, there's a reason that you're getting the stepchild status, so to speak, right now. If you're a softball, baseball, or a track coach or program leader, and all you have to do is look to your left because it's coming. And they know, they've heard about it, but I think that they've chosen not to acknowledge it.
Yeah, right now they're in the mode of like the way that I only know this because I'm in the film. I grew up and wanted to be in the film industry, but the way that the artists kind of felt before computer animation came in, there's no way computers will take our jobs. Wait a minute. It's the same thing. Every time you're comfortable in your job and you think nothing can really come up and advance past you.
Good night, sweet prince.
Bye-bye. That's what it does. Like we're constantly evolving, whether you're talking sports, business, whatever it may be. There's constantly changes, constantly in evolutions. And if you're not prepared to pivot with it, you're going to be left in the dark.
You've already lost if
Yeah.
that's the case.
Like
And
those artists
that's
that refuse to go into the computer world, and then there's no more 2D animation. And now there's no jobs for them anymore. Not in the film industry. They're drawing something else.
I don't know about all that.
Blueprints.
That's not my. I don't work for Disney. By the way, that's gonna be my spark today.
Oh, okay.
Disney talk. There's something happening over at Disney on that ride. Have you heard about this?
No, the Dumbo ride.
Not the Dumbo ride. Thank goodness, not the Dumbo ride. That is still my casket. Put this Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Like, there's people that are not able to make it to the bathroom.
Oh God.
Just poop everywhere. Just it's been like 400 a week or something. Like
It's-
people can't leave their queue, like they can't get out of it, and it's always like so they're shutting the line down. We'll talk more in a minute about my quote unquote spark. Get ready, because it's a good one. One thing I do want to that isn't Coop Talk is what happened last Saturday, and the ability we've already broke the news, to our followers first, that we raised $6,000 over the course of two all. Wait a minute, cough went away. Like I was doing well. We raised $6,000 over the course of technically 3 All-Star games, but 2 events for the Rich Center for Autism. Now, the cool part, Anthony, was obviously raising the money, but delivering was a little bit different because usually, it's just a drop off. Hey, thank you very much. And, we're kind of on our way. Or, hey, some people actually take the money and then make fun of us. Okay. If that's okay. Here, please take this check that we raised and did a lot for you. Best of luck to you. And they know who they are. But I'm going to tell you, the Rich Center and the people over at the Rich Center for Autism couldn't have been any more grateful. And that's not what we're doing it for. But we're not doing it for the thank you. We're doing it for the impact. And I've never been in the Rich Center, so I was very unfamiliar. So I had a lot of questions naturally about, like what would these kids do if you guys weren't here? And, it's been there for 30 years. They didn't have some of those answers, which I can appreciate because they're people that just put their heads down and they do their job because they love what they do and they love who they do it for. I can tell you that the impact will be felt very quickly with what they're doing because they're going through growth and opportunity, and they're just going to continue to do it because Jake and Mike over at the Rich Center, they gave me a personalized tour. I got to meet some of the students. I got to meet some of the teachers and the great people that make that happen over there. And we're just scratching the surface on our partnership with them. And it's not all going to be about dollars and cents. It's going to be about awareness and understanding that it is a disorder and not a disease, because people don't realize that and they don't know how to necessarily have conversations and act around, someone with autism, whether it be a young person or disabilities in general, Anthony. And I think, we have to lead the way on that. And sports is a great avenue to do it because sports brings everybody together. Absolutely.
And we've seen that through every avenue. We've seen that through, unfortunately, some tragedies that have happened since we've started YSN. We've seen that through a pandemic. We've seen that through, even if it's not a tragedy, it's just like, hey, we need to get together as a community and be together because maybe some stuff's happening inside our community that's tearing people apart. Not tragedy, just arguments or disagreements. But when the sports come, it's like, okay, we get together, we root for the same team. And there's nothing better than when sports kind of shows that as reality.
Well, remember how scary it was? Everybody was terrified, mortified for the pandemic. And more so because they had nothing to distract them from their everyday lives. That typically sports took that place. It was that bookmark. And we were shut down from a standpoint of no games to where we were reading storybooks,
right?
During live streams. And
we were calling putting puzzles together. Jake Gehring putting a puzzle piece in the right spot.
Yep.
I just saw that on my memories from over the weekend. Putting the puzzle in.
Now Jake Gehring's top 2.
Now he's on top 10.
On Sports Center.
Number 2 on Sports Center.
Yeah, I look at this as just another brick in the wall that we've created here at YSN. We're very fortunate. We're very blessed to do what we do. It is work. I will tell you that it is work. Anthony and I and the team here at YSN work very, very hard. Even on those event nights, we're trying to maximize as much as we can do to give as much as we can to those charitable organizations or nonprofits. And I got to tell you, man, this one felt special. This one felt really, really good. So special thank you to everybody. And I'm not sitting there saying, look at us, look at us, look at us. I want people to know that they had a hand in this, that they had a part in this. The student athletes, the coaches, the communities, the fans, Boardman High School, the everybody that touched and had a piece of this deserves to have this recognition of this donation, because without that, this kind of stuff isn't possible. And I want the best opportunities for these young people that are, living with this disorder. And I don't even want to say fighting it. They're learning to live with it and to be able to function the way they want to. Because I can't even think about how I would be as a parent or as someone going through autism. They're heroes. These parents are wonderful human beings, and they're just doing what they want to do and doing what they know. And if we can help them even a little bit, ease their mind of being able to buy something or learn something or do something, that's worth it. And that's what we want our student athletes to learn. Their talents through basketball, through volleyball, through baseball, through softball, any event that we do, we want to make sure that we're not the beneficiary. It's someone else, because it never feels bad to do something great for someone else, because you don't always have to do that. You don't always have people to do that, but you have to light the lamp. You've got to lead the way. And, that's what I'm proud of what we've been able to do. And so many people have bought in to that. No pun intended. So thank you. Appreciate you so much. Hamburger's on a roll today. Raising 6K is awesome. Another reason why. Hey, we appreciate you, buddy. He always jokes, like he's got the flag football and the Armeni thing we got going, but but when he spits out a compliment, it's real. It's real, and he's always kind of tongue in cheek. We love Steve Hemberger. Great family, obviously Western Reserve community, and just watches our show religiously. And we couldn't do it without people like Steve. So thank you to all you for watching each and every day, even whether I'm here or not. Which also tells me, Anthony, gives me the opportunity to bridge this up. Why was I gone on Thursday and Friday? Did you tell everybody?
You were doing some work, right? You had some sales opportunities, some business talks that got us some new advertisers, I believe, that you want to kind of roll out the red carpet for here on the show today.
Yeah, so the T's are not crossed and the I's are not dotted yet. So we're not going to point and say thank you. We do that, when everything's closed. But what I can tell you is, I was nervous. Like there's obviously in business, there's sales, there's everybody knows our advertising, which, by the way, thank you Greenwood Chevrolet and Toyota of Warren for constantly being there for us. But what I can tell you is it's always eye-opening, because you and I are in the foxhole. We always talk about it. We're in the foxhole together, and we don't really realize everything that's going on outside or how people perceive us necessarily, except when they send really nasty letters or messages behind the keyboards. But when you go out and you have the 90% of people who love what we do and love the way we do it, it's really humbling to sit in front of these people that want to advertise with us and want to sponsor the things that we do. Because I remember getting our first check literally from Libs Market, who's celebrating 10 years, by the way. Libs Market, Ben and Lindsay, congratulations. I remember getting our first check for $100 and thinking, man, we got a long way to go. Appreciative, but we got a long way to go if I want to have people join us in this mission. And, now you have people with 13.5 million views on our website in 2024. You have a lot of people that want to get involved and want to be in front of those people. They want to be in front of you. Because they're battling for your dollars, whether it be, our friends over at Bear Brothers, and you're building a new house. So you're going to need new windows. You're going to need a new mattress. You're going to need all of these things. You need a new car. You need a new, whatever it may be. There are so many of these businesses that understand that sports is the conduit that keeps us together, and people are watching all the time. It is prime time, literally all the time, because there's always a purpose to be watching what we have on YSN, whether it be the show, whether it be our one of our other shows, one of the new shows that we're going to have, whether it be our games, our events, whatever it may be. There's always a reason to watch, and it's not because of us. So people want to make sure that they're in front of them, and just want to remind everybody that there's more opportunities out there, because you're going to be seeing a lot of big names coming in, and we're very appreciative, but we don't want to lose our touch on mom and pop businesses. So, people sit there and they'll poke us and they'll say, well, we're a family owned business. This is Brian's like my brother, has been for a long time. And obviously my wife and my kids, like that's the top of the mountain for who owns the business. We're a family owned business. And then we have people like you, Anthony, that have become family. It's you're as much a part of this as anybody else. And I think people appreciate that. And I know you have come a long way, and you are so proud of all the sponsors that we have. And you make sure that they're in your notes and pushing them properly. And when you can get an extra one, you do.
Absolutely.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody that's done this. This is by no means a farewell. This is we are getting to the next stage, and with everything that's coming with Prospect, starting on Wednesday, we're ready. We're ready. I don't think we've ever been more ready. I don't think I've ever been more scared, which makes me want to go down to Guardians of the Galaxy and poop my pants. But it is a scary, scary thing to be in business and to believe in something because you're afraid of the letdown. But I know that there's great people around us, around me, and I know that this is going to be a great experience for everybody involved, and our heart's in the right place. So with that said, sponsorships and advertising, we're open for business. We're open for business here at YSN, and we'd love to have you. So that's the fastball, Anthony. That's the old two-seamer. Like that. But it also leads us into the What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Another great. I had a chance to talk to Eric Carlson this weekend, so it was a good weekend for me. The Spark is going to be, it still is, I think, one of people's favorite things because they never know which is coming. Usually with Scotty, it's like an appreciation thing. Usually mine's an angry one. Yours is always like a happy one. So it's kind of a perfect segue. So without further ado, here is the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical. You can visit them on the web 24/7, 365 at DickeyElectric.com. Anthony Robert Hartwig. What? Ronald. Anthony Ronald Hartwig. I knew I was going to mess that up. Dang it. What is your spark?
My spark today, I'm going to give a shout out to former champion girls basketball player and now Alabama Crimson Tide in the adaptive sports area, Skylar Skarnecchia, who went and won a national championship in adaptive sports over the weekend. Might be our first YSN alum that's a national champion. I'd have to do some digging, but it might just be the first national championship that we have on the college level from YSN. So congratulations to her and the Crimson Tide adaptive basketball team, national champs. From champion to national champion is what we put on the socials. So,
how do I put this delicately? I was at Disney World like 2 months ago. Rode the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Buddy, they're people that cannot hold their bowels, right? And like, this isn't like a one-off. This is like happening on the regular. This is terrifying. And they're just shutting down parts of the line that people, and the smell doesn't necessarily go away right away. And people are like they're like trying to ride the ride and going in their pants. They're a little dookie in their jeans, and they're trying to get on these.
You're talking like not during the ride. It's not like the ride induces you to poop. It's like we've been waiting so long. I'm not going to leave my place in line, so I'm just going to let it go right here. right?
I
That's
just
what you're saying?
I heard it on the radio this morning. I heard it on the radio like a month ago, and apparently there's been like, I'm sorry, there's been like 10 people that have pooped their pants in this line.
You think it's become a trend now? Like, hey, Johnny, I dare you to go poop yourself in the
Dude,
Guardians of the Galaxy line.
I'm crying. I'm trying not to say what I want to say, but I just keep thinking about the people. Like, it's not funny if a person's sick. I just got a feeling these people don't want to get out of line. You know, they just hammer down one of these $35 corn dogs or whatever
Yeah.
they are, and they're like, I'm not getting out of the line. I've waited my entire life to ride this, and they just, here's what we're doing.
I've been in line for an hour and a half.
Oh no, this like they said the lines were like well over 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah. So imagine you're halfway through. I'm not getting out of line now and starting back at the back.
I'm just
No way.
like, the ride is a minute and a half, 2 minutes. You know, there's like, you get into the stage we call it the cattle call area, where they bring you in, they show you like a movie while they're running like 17 rides, and then they herd you down another. I mean, you're in like 3 different lines.
Yep.
And I'm just thinking, they get to one point and like, there's nowhere to go. That has to be where that is. There's nowhere to go. And I was scared enough, because that wasn't my kind of ride. Like, that was a little bit too quick for me. The not to spoiler alert, the the roller coaster separates, and you feel like you're actually like in space. Like, it's so wild. I had my full disclosure, I had my eyes closed the entire time. Like, when we went into it, I was like, all right, that's it for me. And I just started singing because they had the music. Say, do you remember? That's what it was. I was jamming. Anyway, I just kept thinking about the 12-year-old that was probably could have dropped a hammer right next to me while we're in mid-ride. And I'm like, do you know how mad I would be? Because when your eyes are closed like mine were, you have enhanced hearing, enhanced smell. I would be so mad if I'm going around the earth and that kid drops a hammer in his hand. And I've got to live with that for the next 2 minutes. I didn't even know the kid. His dad was in front. There was 3 and I was a 1. There it is. Luckily he didn't. But Anthony, I'm telling you, I am a betting man. The odds are against you. If you're in that line, that you're not going to experience a serious sense of smell of something really bad.
Right.
Really bad. And I don't, like, you can't even blame people because they're like 3-hour waits.
Right.
Like, okay. Like, and you can't have people like hold your place. I don't know, man. Get it together, Disney. Hey,
That's fair. Honestly, amusement parks. I know there's no way to like say you can't wait for, but I think Cedar Point actually does this too, where you can like sign in and say I'm going to come back, and the wait might be like 3 hours. I'll come back 3 hours. My spot's there. I get on the ride.
oh yeah, I forget that's not fast pass that. Well,
No.
yeah, it is.
Because you still have to wait that amount of time, but you don't have to actually stand in line for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it might be. I don't know how feasible that is, but
we had the VIP tour and we still had to wait. Like, we were still in line for probably 45 minutes in the VIP tour. And like you said, that's like the tour that you're waving at the Make-A-Wish kids
right
on the way past.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But like, you look at this and you go, whew, Disney's. The worst part is, man, Disney makes it so it's like always nonchalant. Like, you know how like they have like the people that they don't bend over. They're just like on the go. They pick up trash and they put it in the receptacle.
Yeah.
There's no way to hide what you're about to pick up. Like, you see Mickey Mouse marching in. M-I-C, M-I-C-K-E. Oh my! Oh boy, Pluto, what is that?
What?
Oh boy, somebody dropped a hammer.
That's actually pretty good. Gosh.
Oh, gosh, Mickey, look at that. Like, I mean, what do you do? What do you do? You can't hide that. You can't hide that. Hey, get it together, Disney.
Get it together, Disney. Come on.
Get it together. Let the smart people figure it out. Yeah, that's going to put a bow on the show.
On that note.
On that very pungent note, we're going to end the show. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Thank you to Trent. Thank you to Coach for stopping by. Great show. We got another great show for you tomorrow. And it sounds like I'm going to be on 21 tonight talking about the Cavs. So we'll see how that goes because they are on a roll. 60 games for the first time since LeBron James left. That's pretty cool.
They're rolling right now.
One of the best teams in basketball. And, well, they're not. I'll put it out right now. Put a stop to that. They're not better than Louisville. They're not better than Louisville. Leps,
No.
State champs forever. State champs. That's going to do it for our show. For Anthony, I'm DJ. We'll see you tomorrow at noon right here on YSN Live. Bye-bye. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.